Have you ever felt like the world is too big and scary for you? We all have moments where we feel small, powerless, and ready to give up. But today, I want to take you on a journey into a deep, dense forest to meet a family who felt exactly the same way. Once upon a time, in a beautiful woodland filled with tall trees and whispering winds, lived a herd of vibrant orange deer. They were gentle creatures, spending their days grazing on soft grass and enjoying the warmth of the sun. But their lives were far from perfect. A shadow of fear always hung over them. You see, this forest was also the home of a ferocious lion, a beast of pure muscle and hunger who ruled as the king. The deer lived in constant terror, knowing that every rustle in the bushes could be their last moment. One fateful afternoon, the peace of the forest was shattered. A deafening roar echoed through the valley. The ground trembled as the massive lion burst from the shadows, his eyes locked on the herd. Panic took over. The deer didn't think, they just ran. Hearts pounding against their ribs, they leaped over fallen logs and dashed through thorns, running for their very lives. It was a race against death. Thankfully, their speed saved them that day. They escaped to a remote part of the forest, breathless and trembling. But as night fell, a heavy gloom settled over the herd. They were tired of running. They were tired of being the victims. The fear had eaten away at their spirits so much that they began to believe a terrible lie, that they were too weak to live. The next morning, the herd gathered by a quiet stream.
We can no longer hide in the shadows.
Somber.
We must
An
act
old
as
deer
one,
looked at the
or
others
we will
and said,
fall.
"What is the point of this life if we just run until we die? Maybe it's better to end it now than to live in this constant fear." Can you imagine the level of despair? They felt so hopeless that they decided to march to the deep pond and drown themselves. It was a tragic march of the defeated. Heads low, eyes full of tears, they walked towards the water, believing they were the weakest creatures on earth. But as they approached the bank of the pond, destiny had a different plan. Sitting on the muddy banks were dozens of frogs, enjoying the cool air. As the heavy hooves of the deer crunched on the ground, the frogs looked up in sheer terror. To the frogs, these deer were giants, monsters. In a blink of an eye, splash, 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 the frogs jumped into the water, swimming desperately to hide from the deer. The herd froze. The lead deer stopped right at the water's edge, his eyes wide with realization. He turned to his friends and whispered, "Wait, look at them. We are running from the lion because we think we are weak, but these frogs, they are running from us. To them, we are the lions." It was a moment of awakening. They realized that strength is relative. They weren't weak. They just had a different place in the circle of life. They decided not to give up. They turned back to the forest, heads held high, ready to face whatever came next. So remember, my friends, fear is just a perspective. You are stronger than you think.